Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on the channel. I'm still in Batumi in Georgia, in the media center of the Women's World Cup. Only 4 players are left and we're going into round 5, which are the semi-finals. But this game is from the 4th round, from round 4. We didn't have a miniature in this round. No games below 25 moves, which, as you all know, are the speciality of the channel. But even so, I noticed a very nice game between Kamalidenova, who's a women international master rated 23-23. Sorry, already an international master, open international master. And Vaishali, Vaishali from India, Grandmaster 24-78. This win actually allowed Vaishali to progress to the round number 4, where unfortunately she was eliminated yesterday by Tanzongji. But she definitely progressed very far in the competition. This was one of the rapid games, and as you will see, we will see how to crush the Caro-Kan playing with the black pieces. Now here in this variation, the main line is bishop to d3, and there's a reason behind that. We want to prevent black's bishop to coming out to f5, and after knight c6, then c3 is the main line. Normally the knight goes to e2 in these positions, but Kamalidenova, I'm assuming she knows what she's doing. She played knight to f3, which I think is not so good, because knight to c6, c3, and black took advantage to play bishop to f5. Now I think she'd prepared this, but it didn't work out for her. Queen to b3 hits b7, black defends, and now her move bishop to b5. A serious threat is looming in the air, knight to e5. But black just plays f6, sidestepping that threat, castle, and now e6. And black has very easy development, bishop to d6 and knight to e7. And if black gets in those two moves, black will be very fine, very good center control. It's not clear at all where this bishop is going to go, because if it comes to f4 now, black can even start thinking of expanding on the king's side and initiating some sort of an attack, which could be actually very serious. I've played against these structures myself, and it's really tough. The only good way to play against this structure is breaking with c4, and that's not so easy to do. Anyway, white played rook to e1, a6, exchange, and c4, trying to open up the position. But even so, Vaishali plays bishop to d6. This is very good, because now if pawn takes pawn, we recapture, and notice that queen takes pawn is not possible, not because of pawn takes queen, because the king is pinned, but because of bishop to h2, and here we see another pin unveiled. This will be a disaster for black, for white, I'm sorry, excuse me. Now I think here white should have played something along the lines of bishop to d2, maybe knight to c3, some sort of developing move. Instead, Kamalidenova played c5, and this is actually a positional mistake, and a play of the strength of Kamalidenova for sure understands this. But in the heat of the battle, especially in a rapid game, you can easily make this sort of mistake. She does win a tempo against the bishop, but now there's no pressure in the center, so it's very easy to black to finish the development and start pushing either on the king side or in the center, as we shall see in the game. I wonder if she was thinking of bringing the queen here, but she still can't do it because of bishop to h2. Maybe at some point she was thinking of that. Now she played knight to c3, knight to e7, and knight to e2, trying to bring the knight to g3. And now Vaishali plays very, very well. g5, fantastic move. And now she could carry on with h5 actually, and just keep pushing. But she preferred to castle, which is also perfectly fine, and bring her last piece to the center. Now I think she was threatening something like bishop to g6 and then start pushing in the center with e5. And I think the next move is Kamalidenova's unfortunate final mistake. Here she has to go bishop to d2, bring the rook to the center. If black doesn't do anything, then maybe start advancing on the queen side and just wait for black to open, but when black opens, try and find some counterplay in the center. But she played knight takes f5, which is a mistake, because the knight comes here, and now look how easy it is to push all the pawns here. You just push the pawns in the center and everything starts rolling. e4, all the moves just play by themselves. Now there's the threat of knight to f3, there's the threat of just pushing this pawn up to f3. We can bring a rook to the attack as well. I mean, everything works for black here. So it's not surprising that the computer gives here several different ways to win. It suggests knight to f3, it suggests knight to g2, it suggests just playing f5 and f4. It suggests so many different, king h8 and rook g8 is another suggestion, because this pawn chain is absolutely wonderful to control everything, and white can't even capture the pawn on a5. So white is busted. Knight to d2. Here, for example, the computer suggests check, take, threatening the check on g4, and here queen to h3 threatens mate on h2, and also sorry about that, threatens the mate here, threatens the bishop, and we just move the king aside and everything is winning here. So knight to f3 was winning, and I'm sure that Vaishali saw that move. Maybe she thought that, I'm not really sure what she thought, it's just a rapid game. She played f5, which is also very good. The threat is f4, and then actually we can pick up the bishop, which will be stranded here. And here again, knight to g2 was winning. Knight to f3 is still winning, but now it's not so clear, because when we can't bring the queen to h3 in one move. So, but knight to g2, this is winning for sure. You just play f3, bring the queen over to the queen side. This is completely winning as well. But she played knight to g6, which is okay, and we're just threatening f4 and powering through with our pawns. And this is exactly what happened. h6, you can't capture the pawn because of rook to h7, and this is game over. Bishop and h2. So bishop to e3, and I remember seeing Kamalidenova's face here. In a classical game, she would have resigned here very fast. But in rapid, you just keep playing in the hope that maybe your opponent will drop a piece or make some sort of mistake, but this will not happen. And black's just winning all the material. And even the final position is quite nice. Queen to e1 and knight to h4, threatening rook to g1. And now here, Kamalidenova decides to resign. It was a very tough match, actually. This one finished, I think it was 4.5 to 3.5 for Vaishali. They went down to the blitz. So Kamalidenova was the player who defeated Goryachkina. And Vaishali has also played very well here. But Vaishali was defeated yesterday by Tan Zhongji, who was qualified to semi-finals. Actually, there's only 4 players left. In fact, right now, while I'm recording this video, it's 3:25 in Batumi. Exactly now, we're on the tiebreak day of the 4th round. Tan Zhongji, Hampi, Lei Tingyi, they've all qualified for the semi-finals. And we're still waiting for Divya against Harika. They're playing the tiebreak match here, exactly next door, right now. So in about an hour or two, we'll know the 4th semi-finalist. And we go on to round 5, which is semi-finals. And then the final round will be round 6, which will be the final. I think that we have a free day in the middle, hopefully. I've been here since the 4th of July, and now it's the 21st, so quite a while. I've been here nearly 3 weeks, and I'll be leaving on the 29th, so still a week left here in Batumi, but enjoying every moment of it. Batumi, Georgia is a city that's actually surprised me quite a lot. Georgia is nice, but it's a city of contrasts. It's a summer town, so in July and August it's full of people, but they were telling me yesterday that in the winter it's completely empty. It's the typical place where there's a lot of summer flats and big high-rise buildings, casinos. A lot of Turkish people come here to party, to gamble, to have the holidays, and then a lot of Georgian people who live in the interior, in Tbilisi, the capital, and in the cities and towns in the center. Of course, it's very hot in summer, so they have their second flat here in the beach. And the promenade, it's a 7-kilometer promenade, it's fantastic to walk. Everything lights up at night. You should check out some photos of Batumi on Google, and you'll get an idea. Food is great. Georgian food is very good, very heavy for my stomach, so I'm taking it. We've all fallen to a stomach bug here at some point, but it's fun, and of course I'm so pleased and so happy to be able to do these events with FIDE and even be able to still bring the videos over to you. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Pay attention to how Vaishali defeated Kamalidenova if you're a Caro-Kan player, and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.